Did you ever go fishing? Did you ever go fishing on a bright sunny day?
You know, many people think that fly fishing is an extreme. You know, how can fishing be extreme? But as far as this is concerned, when you're on the river, a lot of times these rivers are rushing very fast. You know, you got a lot of water constantly coming down. It's constantly moving, constantly in the water, wading, sometimes up to the very top of your waders, you know, up to your chest. And that can be very dangerous. You know, you make one slip up on a rock, you trip on a log, and all of a sudden you could be down underwater. And once your waders fill up, there's no getting out. You know, you're down for good. Another thing that makes this type of fly fishing extreme is when you're fishing in the winter and sometimes even in the spring when the snow's still melting, you get a lot of ice buildup on the outside of the river. The river doesn't always freeze over because it's constantly moving, but in some of the slower moving spots on the side of the river, you get ice built up. And oftentimes it's hard to tell what's ice and what's still the bank. And so if you make one wrong step when you're walking up the bank, getting into the water, you could end up, you know, stepping on a piece of ice, falling through and ending up in a 10-foot hole. The first time I went fly fishing was about 3 years ago. We didn't really expect to catch anything. He definitely didn't expect me to catch anything. And it was actually on my third cast of the day that I hooked my first fish. And from the time I hooked that first fish, it's just been an amazing passion for me and an amazing way to escape from everything going on. It's just a great time to get out there, relax, you know, you can contemplate things, you can think about everything that's going on, but you don't have to be around things you don't want to be around. For me, my favorite type of fish to catch would have to be steelhead. Catching a steelhead is very exhilarating. It's a heck of an experience. It's one of those things that you don't really realize what it's like until you actually do it. And that's why it's hard for some people to realize, you know, how can you spend this much money, this much time, you know, go out there for 5 days in a row and not catch anything until the 6th day. It's not always easy to catch them, but that's part of it. You know, it's they wouldn't call it fishing, they'd call it catching if you always caught fish.